Today, Ginger and I would like to talk about pruning a newly acquired fruit tree. Now here's a cherry, and basically you're going to want to prune the fruit trees when you plant them because in the digging process some of the roots will be lost in the digging process, and so you need to balance that out by not having too many buds being supported by pruning. And in this case with the cherry, this is a cherry tree, a Lapland's cherry. It's a self-pollinating cherry on a dwarfing rootstock, Gisela rootstock. And what we found is that if we let cherry trees get big, we are feeding the birds. And so we want to keep our cherry trees compact enough that not only are they easy to harvest without getting a ladder out, but also easy to net to protect from birds. Now cherry trees can get, there's a cherry tree behind me right there, and it's about, 65 feet tall. That's how big cherries can get. They can get even bigger than that. So if you let them, and then you're just feeding the birds. So what do we do when we plant out a cherry tree like this? Well, it's got dormant buds all along here. Now the reason why this tree doesn't have any branches right now is that when they're grown in the nursery, they're grown about this far apart. So they're really crowded. And so they tend to not make branches because they're so crowded. At any rate, so what I would like to see to make this a real dwarfing tree that is easy to net and easy to harvest is I'm going to cut it back to this height, 2 feet, so that these dormant buds will become branches. And that's what they will do this spring. All these buds along here in the upper part of where I just cut will become branches this spring. And at a easily harvestable height. If you're going to prune a tree and keep it short enough to net and harvest from the ground, you're going to have low branches, and that's the best way to acquire it. Now one other technique that you can use to make low branches is to make a notching cut. Now if you were to take a knife and make an incision into the bark like this, and then make a second incision, and this is directly above a bud, to take out a little sliver of wood just above that dormant bud, that can force that bud to become a branch this spring without having to cut the top off. So you could do that, to which you could do the same thing on the other side here to get a branch to go in this direction in this case, and in this direction in this case, and in this direction in this case, without having to cut the top off. That would be another way of achieving that goal of having low branches. Now in this case, we've got, let's see, here we've got a Shiro plum, Japanese plum, grew very vigorously in the nursery. As you can see, here's the last summer's growth is about 5-6 feet easily, with no branching here. So we want to see some low branching. We also want to take out a bad crotch angle here. This is kind of a weak joint here when you've got two trees that are kind of competing as the dominant leader here. It's probably best to just take it out. Take out this one that's competing with the dominant leader. And this branch is too spindly here and here and here. So we've got some nice branches arranged in different directions here, but because the root system is not gigantic, we should head this back so that it's not trying to support all these buds. So just taking it back, pruning to an outer growing bud would be ideal in this case, and we'll just take it back like this, and then here as well, we'll take it back there, here, and there, and then we're going to head it back about here because we want to see more branching right in here. So we're going to head it back to like there, and that will encourage more branching in this area. So now that tree's ready for planting. Now let's see, here we've got an apple tree, Cox's Orange Pippin, England's favorite apple. In this case, we've got a decent root system, but still some of the roots were lost, a fair amount in the digging process. So we can take out this little stub here. Now we want to have maybe 3 or 4 branches going off in different direction, and we've got some nice ones right here. These are good keepers. Now here we've got 2 trees competing as a leader. So we should take this one out entirely because this is a weak crotch angle. This kind of crotch angle here and here is strong. This is a little on the weak side. Maybe we'll take this one out. You don't want to have branches at this angle or at this angle, because these are weak joints that can tear right here and ruin the whole tree, and this can get just loaded down with fruit. And so a stronger branch angle is more like this kind of angle here. So we'll take this out, and we'll take this out. And then we also want to see some more branching right in this area, so we can head it back, taking the top out a bit to encourage some more branching in this area. And now it's ready to plant. Thank you.